You've probably heard that it's really important that you have a financial cushion, right? I'm not the first person to bring this up to you, but I want to put this in a different way so that it might sink in a little bit more, especially when you reach our age in our 50s and such. So I like to call this the three Ds. And by Ds, I mean death, divorce, or disability. Now, I'm sure you probably know someone who one of these three things has happened to. As in, my oldest sister actually had a sort of surprise divorce after a 20-year marriage, and she was in her 40s then. She was okay financially because they had been good with their money, but there are a lot of people that get divorced and the women, maybe they never handled the money and they have no idea where they stand financially. And sometimes they're even splitting up debts rather than assets. That's not where you want to be. So even if you are married and even if you're happily married, because I know there are some of those people out there, I hope that you and your partner have discussions frequently about where you are financially. I hope you understand where your money is, what it's invested in, and how you're projecting out to get where you want to be. Okay, enough about that. So back to the death, divorce, and disability. We all know people, like a woman I used to work with. She was only about 40 at this time. I worked with her at IDG Books, no, at Ask.com, and her husband had a stroke, and he was very young. He was not even 40, but he was a construction worker, and then he was no longer able to work. And then suddenly she became the primary breadwinner. So, that put a big load on her. They had a child just about to start college. And then there is the third D, which is death. And this is the one that kicked me in the teeth. My son Tommy died 2 weeks after his 18th birthday, 2 weeks before his high school graduation. And he was ill for 2.5 weeks. He went into the hospital on May 15th of 2019. We found out he had kidney failure. They did a lot of awful testing. They said he had this rare autoimmune disease, but he'd be okay. Sent him home June 1st, 2019. That night he became very, very ill. A lot of really horrible stuff happened, and he died a day and a half later. Absolutely shocking. His friends were saying things like, "What do you mean he died? I was just texting him." So obviously destroyed me. And I try to deal with it as best I can. I have a scholarship in his name and all of this. I watch the videos he made on YouTube all the time just to see him smile again. But luckily, I had been working on my financial independence for a long time. And the company I worked for happened to get acquired, and it was a unicorn, and all of these things fell into place for me. But it wasn't just that. That alone would not have done it for me because I had been investing in real estate and I had a plan. This sort of, tipped me over the top so that I could say, I'm done working. I no longer give a crap about all of the political nonsense at work, all of that stuff. So I was able to walk. I did work for 2.5 years after he died, but last January 31st was my last day working. And sitting at home alone, because everyone I know still works, isn't incredibly good for me. So I decided that I would like to start this project, helping other women, because I achieved success on my own as a single woman. I raised 2 kids on my own without a husband, and I built wealth on my own. And I can help you do it too. And I want you to get ahead of it because you don't want one of these terrible things to happen to you, but the thing is you cannot prepare for them because they come out of the blue. Another woman I know here, she's just got some sort of mystery illness and she feels terrible all the time, and she's had blood work and biopsies and scans and all these things, and they can't figure out what's wrong with her, but she feels crappy all the time, and I'm sure that's affecting her ability to work. So, that old expression, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Well, that's how you should be with your money. Just prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But to do that, I can help you figure out at least where you stand right now. And you can do that by grabbing my free mini course that has a spreadsheet and just a couple of short videos. And it'll point out where you are right now. And it'll also help you figure out what your trouble spots are so that you can correct them. and build the wealth that you deserve to build. So go to nancy-mckenna.com/money, and I'll put the link in the description box below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.